If you were born before 1965, there is a detail in your Social Security record you may want to check. Not because your Social Security number is changing, not because your benefits are automatically being cut, but because the rules used to determine when you can claim certain benefits are not the same for everyone. And that is where the confusion begins. Millions of older Americans fall into different eligibility groups based on something as simple as their birth year. 1 year can change the age at which you receive full retirement benefits. It can change the way certain claiming decisions affect your monthly payment. And in some situations, it can determine which rules you need to look at. But here is the part most people miss. The Social Security Administration does not simply look at your age. It looks at your date of birth, your work history, your eligibility record, and the specific benefit you are claiming. That means two people sitting across the kitchen table, both over 60, can be facing completely different Social Security rules, and neither person may realize it. So when you hear that there is a new category for seniors born before 1965, don't assume it means a brand new Social Security program. The real story is more complicated. There are groups, there are cutoff years, there are different eligibility rules, and there is one distinction that could determine which information actually applies to you. By the end of this video, you'll know how these groups are being discussed, what birth years matter, and what you should check in your own Social Security record before making a retirement decision, because the wrong assumption can follow you for years. And for some retirees, that mistake can mean leaving money on the table. There is no single Social Security rule that applies to every senior. Your birth year matters. Your exact date of birth matters. And the difference can be measured in months, not years. That is especially important for Americans born before 1965, because the Social Security Administration uses your birth year to determine your full retirement age. That age is not automatically 65. For people born in 1960 or later, the full retirement age is 67. But move backward through the birth year chart and the number changes. Someone born in 1959 has a full retirement age of 66 years and 10 months. Someone born in 1958 reaches it at 66 years and 8 months. And that is where the idea of different groups becomes important. Not because SSA has officially announced a new program called Group A and Group B, it hasn't. Those labels are useful for understanding the different birth year rules. Think of Group A as people whose full retirement age is below 67, and Group B as people born in 1960 or later, whose full retirement age is 67. That distinction may sound small, but it affects the timing of your retirement benefits. You can generally begin retirement benefits as early as 62, but claiming before full retirement age means accepting a permanently reduced monthly benefit, and waiting can change the calculation again. If you delay beyond full retirement age, your monthly benefit can continue increasing until age 70. So the real question isn't simply, am I over 60? The better question is, what birth year does Social Security have on my record? Because that one detail can place you under a different retirement age rule. And if you were born before 1965, there is another reason to pay attention. Your birth year sits right around the point where these rules transition toward a full retirement age of 67. That means the difference between one birth year and another can change the retirement timeline you're looking at. And this is where many people make the first mistake. They hear that someone the same age is receiving a certain amount. They assume the same rule must apply to them. But Social Security doesn't work that way. The number on your birth certificate is part of the calculation. Your earnings record is another, and the age at which you claim is another. Put those pieces together, and your personal benefit picture begins to look very different. So before you decide when to claim, before you compare your payment with a neighbor's, and before you assume that turning 65 automatically means you're at full retirement age, check your birth year first, because that is where the two groups begin to separate. Now let's clear up the most important point. The Social Security Administration has not officially created a retirement program called Group A and Group B. Those labels are simply a useful way to understand the birth year differences. The actual rule is much more precise. Your full retirement age depends on the year you were born. If you were born from 1943 through 1954, your full retirement age is 66. Then the age gradually increases. For someone born in 1955, it is 66 years and 2 months. For 1956, it is 66 years and 4 months. For 1957, 66 years and 6 months. For 1958, 66 years and 8 months. And for 1959, it reaches 66 years and 10 months. Then comes the major dividing line. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67. So when you hear people talking about different groups of seniors, this is one of the biggest differences they're referring to. The year on your birth record can change the age at which you qualify for unreduced retirement benefits. But there is another detail that can make this even more important. You do not have to wait until full retirement age to claim Social Security. You can generally begin retirement benefits at 62. The trade-off is that starting earlier means receiving a reduced monthly benefit. For someone born in 1960 or later, for example, claiming at 62 results in a retirement benefit equal to 70% of the full retirement benefit amount. Waiting until full retirement age brings that amount to 100%. That difference can continue for the rest of your retirement, and this is why simply saying, I'm 62 or I'm 65 doesn't tell the whole story. Two people can reach the same age. They can have similar work histories. They can even have similar earnings. But their full retirement ages can still be different because their birth years are different. There is another side to the calculation. Waiting beyond full retirement age can increase your monthly retirement benefit. For eligible retirees, delayed retirement credits can continue increasing the benefit until age 70. After 70, there is no additional increase simply from waiting longer to claim. So now the picture becomes clearer. This isn't really about a secret new category. It's about a set of existing Social Security rules that can place different birth year groups on different timelines. And if you were born before 1965, you are close enough to these dividing lines that you should know exactly where your birth year falls. Because the next question is the one that matters most. Which group are you actually in? Now, let's look at what this actually means for your money, because knowing your group is only the beginning. Your Social Security benefit is not based on your age alone. It is also based on your earnings history, the longer you worked, the amount you earned, and the years that Social Security counts toward your benefit. SSA uses your earnings record to calculate your retirement benefit. That is why one of the most important things you can do is check your record before making a major claiming decision. Look for missing years. Look for earnings that appear incorrect. Look for gaps that you know should not be there, because an error in your earnings record can affect the benefit estimate you see. And this is where your personal Social Security account becomes important. SSA allows workers to view personalized retirement estimates based on their earnings record. You can also compare estimates based on different claiming ages. Now imagine two men. Both are 65. Both have worked for decades. Both believe they should receive roughly the same Social Security benefit. But one was born in 1959. The other was born in 1960. That 1 year difference matters. The 1959 birth year has a full retirement age of 66 years and 10 months. The 1960 birth year has a full retirement age of 67. Neither person is doing anything wrong. Neither person is receiving a special secret benefit. They are simply under different birth year rules. And that difference becomes especially important if they claim before full retirement age. Starting retirement benefits at 62 can mean a permanent reduction compared with waiting until full retirement age. For someone born in 1960 or later, claiming at 62 means receiving about 70% of the full retirement benefit. Waiting until 67 brings the benefit to 100% of the full retirement amount. That is a major difference. And there is another number seniors need to know. 70. Because if you delay retirement benefits beyond full retirement age, your monthly benefit can continue increasing until age 70. For people born in 1960 or later, claiming at 70 results in 124% of the full retirement benefit amount. After 70, delaying longer does not produce additional delayed retirement credits. So the real decision is not simply, should I take Social Security at 62? It is, what does my birth year mean? What does my earnings record show? And what happens to my benefit if I wait? Those are three very different questions. And there is one more detail that can make this confusing. Full retirement age is not the same thing as Medicare eligibility. Medicare eligibility generally remains at 65, while Social Security full retirement age can be between 66 and 67, depending on birth year. So turning 65 does not automatically mean you have reached full retirement age. That distinction matters, especially if you're planning when to claim. And if you were born before 1965, you should not rely on a friend's benefit amount. You should not rely on an online comment. And you should not assume that turning 65 means you have reached your full Social Security amount. Your own record tells the story. Your birth year tells you the retirement age rule. Your earnings record helps determine the benefit, and your claiming age determines how much of that benefit you actually receive. That brings us to the final question. What should a senior born before 1965 actually check right now? That's where the most practical part begins. Now comes the part you can actually use. If you were born before 1965, don't start by asking someone else what their Social Security check looks like. Start with your own record. The first thing to verify is your date of birth. Your full retirement age is determined by your birth year. Next, open your Social Security earnings record. Look through the years carefully. Check whether the earnings listed for your working years look correct, because Social Security calculates retirement benefits using your earnings history, and the calculation generally uses your highest 35 years of indexed earnings. This matters more than many people realize. If you have fewer than 35 years of earnings, years without earnings can be counted as zeros in the calculation. That can lower your eventual benefit. And even if you have 35 years, a low earning year can still matter. A later year with higher earnings may replace a lower year in the calculation. So don't just look at the final dollar estimate. Look underneath it. Look at the earnings record that helped produce that estimate. Then check your retirement estimates at different claiming ages. Your personal Social Security account can show estimates based on your own earnings record and different ages between 62 and 70. That's where the difference can become very clear. You may see one estimate at 62, another at 65, another at your full retirement age, and another at 70. Those numbers are not random. They reflect the rules connected to when you begin receiving benefits. The longer you wait, the higher your retirement benefit can be, up to age 70. But there is one more thing to watch. If you claim Social Security before full retirement age and continue working, your earnings can affect your benefits under the retirement earnings test. Once you reach full retirement age, that earnings test no longer applies. So if you're still working, don't make a claiming decision based on age alone. Look at your work income too. And remember another important distinction. Social Security full retirement age and Medicare eligibility are not the same thing. Medicare generally begins around age 65, while full retirement age depends on your birth year and falls between 66 and 67 for the relevant generations. That is why turning 65 does not automatically mean you have reached your full retirement age. And this brings us back to the title of this video. There isn't an official SSA announcement creating a secret Group A and Group B. The real dividing lines come from existing Social Security rules. Your birth year, your earnings record, your claiming age, and whether you continue working. Those 4 details can tell you far more than a headline ever could. So before you make your next retirement decision, check those 4 things. Because the most important category isn't the one somebody gives you in a video. It's the category created by your own Social Security record. Now you know what the 2 groups really mean. They are not secret categories. They are not a new Social Security program. They are a way of understanding how different birth years can produce different retirement timelines. And that distinction matters. If you were born before 1965, your first step is simple. Find your exact birth year, then find your full retirement age. After that, check your Social Security earnings record. SSA says retirement benefits are based on your highest 35 years of earnings. If you have fewer than 35 years of earnings, years without earnings can count as zeros. That can reduce your benefit. And if you discover an earnings record that doesn't look right, don't ignore it. SSA specifically advises people to review their earnings record and make sure the information is accurate. Then look at your claiming options. You can generally begin retirement benefits at 62, but starting before full retirement age means a lower monthly benefit. Waiting beyond full retirement age can increase your benefit through delayed retirement credits up to age 70. And if you're still working while receiving Social Security before full retirement age, your earnings can affect your payments. For 2026, SSA says the earnings test limit is $24,480 for someone who is under full retirement age for the entire year. Once you reach full retirement age, that earnings test no longer reduces your benefits because of how much you earn. So don't make your decision based on a headline. Don't make it because a neighbor claimed at 62. And don't assume turning 65 automatically means you're at full retirement age. Your birth year matters. Your earnings record matters. Your claiming age matters. And whether you're still working can matter too. That is the real story behind the supposed Group A or Group B distinction. There isn't a mysterious new category hiding inside Social Security. There are existing rules that can affect different generations differently, and the people most likely to lose out are the people who never check their own numbers. So before you make your next Social Security decision, open your record, check your birth year, check your earnings, check your estimated benefits at different claiming ages. And if something doesn't look right, get clarification directly from the Social Security Administration, because when it comes to retirement income, guessing is expensive. Your Social Security record is personal. Your timeline is personal. And the number on your future check should be based on your record, not somebody else's, not a rumor, and not a headline.